told through the stories of today's leaders in finance, tech, real estate, culture, and sustainability. This is Planet Gold, with your host, Enzo Di Taranto.
Welcome to this new episode of Planet Gold, my eco podcast to re-engineer the global climate agenda at the horizon 2030. Today, I'm with a very special guest, Laura Comfort. We met in Cannes at the beautiful Martinez Hotel during a longevity mastermind that I had the pleasure to moderate. And Laura was one of the key speakers in that mastermind that focused on the future of longevity. So we analyzed the current status of the industry. I, as always, say that longevity, as it is sold and marketed today, requires a better approach from a nature perspective, not only pharmacology and technology. To me, longevity is what I call planetology, meaning experiencing the planet through our bodies. And that is the media that connects our physiology with the planetary physiology are through air, water, soil, light, and temperature. So I think that longevity is really a lifestyle. It's a way of living, is a philosophy of life. And that's, my contribution to the ongoing debate on what is longevity from a metaphysical perspective, as we are talking about extending life and approaching death from a different perspective that just acceptance. And I know that, Laura, you have been very successful in regenerating your body, your physiology at your age. I know that you have given birth to two beautiful twins in a late age compared to what people, the stereotype age for reproduction. So your story is very interesting. That's why I'm honored and pleased to have you as a guest on the Planet Gold podcast. But, this is your platform. Just please introduce yourself, your work, and your message to the world.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. Yes, it was lovely to share the panel with you, share the stage in Cannes. That was a wonderful event. And yes, I was thinking, I think we have, I'm a sort of lifelong biohacker and just finished a new book called The Comfort Code, Rewriting the Rules of Aging. And so it's kind of like the ultimate blueprint for living life with ageless vitality. And I think we have similar approaches in terms of, it's an integrated approach. I think I look at the body as a 360 integrative, amazing miracle of machines, and they all work together. And if I think about my book as well, it's also an integrative approach. It looks at biology, it looks at behavior, and it looks at the environment. And I think you also have a similar approach in terms of humans and nature. And I think all of this is very vital as we approach the next century, and especially in the world of AI. It's interesting. I was just speaking at a health summit over the weekend, and we were talking about the future of socializing and the future of social wellness. And I was pointing out that in a world where AI is taking over the digital landscape, more and more human, for me, the authentic human connection is the real luxury. in a time when health is wealth. And we have to look at the changing landscape as well in health and wellness. And people are, seeking live events and cultivating community and trying to reconnect with nature and looking for spaces more for things like healing and space and neurological balance. And so people are realizing that health is wealth, and this is preventative healthcare, and we need to invest in ourselves, and we need to get the fundamentals right, in my opinion, before you can start jumping on the peptides and all that stuff. I sort of approach it from I've coined a phrase called fun span. So there's health span and there's lifespan, but in my eyes there's fun span, and that's what you want to extend. And those are the years when you have total vitality and libido and power and sort of purpose and meaning and alignment. And I think that's what we're all after, is expanding those years in particular. And I approach it with my sort of SMILES method, which is, as you can probably guess, sleep, movement, inner balance, longevity, lifestyle, eating well, and stress management. And you can look at all those pillars, and that's, I try and help, women in particular, focus on their own biology. But along with that, you have to appreciate nature and look at your circadian rhythms, and you have to appreciate the elements and get your morning sunshine. And there's so much out there that people can do now that can have a profound impact on their longevity. And especially in this world where we're more disconnected with AI, we're more glued to our screens, we're more hunched over at home. I think people lose sight of all that. Yes. And so I think it's wonderful that we're having this conversation, and that we're, making people aware that we have vibrations, we are energetic beings. And if you look at quantum biology, and you look at any of the studies from Massimo with the water crystals, where you say positive affirmations versus negative, and you have beautiful crystals versus negative, or the batch of rice that turns bad. We are energetic beings. We are part of nature. So we need to take our shoes off sometimes and do the grounding, and we need to appreciate our bodies. And with that, we need to appreciate our environment and take care of our environment, or else we're going to destroy it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what gives us life in the end, because we are energetic beings, and energy is given to us by the planet. Without air, water, food, light, and temperature, we don't survive as living organisms. So we have to go back to the origins, right?
Yes.
But as you rightly pointed out, we are living in the era of AI, in the era of fast technological advancements. So I would like to ask you, what is your vision of integrating this binary relation that we have had as human beings since millions or even trillions of years, who knows, human beings, bodies, and nature. That has been the primitive connection that we as human beings have always had with Mother Earth. But now, since a very relatively speaking,
short
period of time, let's say 200 years, since the first industrial revolution, this dual relation body-planet has become a tripartite relation. So we have now body, planet, and technology, or machines, right? So as humanity, we are struggling to find a new balance, after millions of years that we had this, bilateral relation. Now we have to interact with machines, in everything we do. There is no aspect of human life that is not managed or manipulated by technology. I give you very simple examples. Water is not anymore natural. We have to buy water, or even from tap water is in some way technologically manipulated. Temperature is not as been for millions of years, that the human body was adapted to the natural temperature of the environment. Now you have AC in the summertime and the heating in the winter time. So our physiology has been totally disrupted by that.
And if you look at
even food,
the seasons as well, I feel like the
and the
seasons
season.
have all gone. We have, I think
Exactly.
we have 2 seasons now in some places and not 4. Whereas
Yes,
I love the
absolutely.
springtime and the fall growing up in
Yeah.
America, and everything it has changed so rapidly. And I remember when I was growing up, I had no phone, no computer, no TV. I was just running around and I had the best childhood. I feel so, so blessed. And
Yes.
that's why, I've moved my children out of the city, and to see them running around naked is a
Yes.
wonderful thing. Is a wonderful thing. And
Absolutely.
I think, AI, I used to be sort of scared of it, like doom and gloom. But I think they're wonderful advancements to, we can use it so much for accuracy, for personalized healthcare, for quicker diagnostics, all kind of stuff. But it doesn't replace the human. And I think what we really need to do is, AI is all about patterns, but they're not going to have that. Humans have memories, because we release, when we have a wonderful memory, we release neurotransmitters, and that human emotion makes that memory so significant. So AI doesn't have that. AI can't replace that. They can't replace some of the empathy and the things that go into treating humans and into the human experience. So I think we really have to, yes, differentiate humans. Now it's a premium to the authentic, aligned human being is so important right now. And that's why I think we really have to look at younger generations too, and I look at what COVID did to my teenage daughter, and how she was on her phone for hours, completely isolated. Her grades went down. It was literally horrific. And she ended up, luckily, we found a wonderful boarding school. She came home on the weekends, but during the week, she didn't have her phone. She was doing sports all day. It was the best decision we ever made. She just got into college of her choice. She was doing 4 varsity sports. And I feel lucky that we're able to find the right environment for her. But I think we really have to look at everything, the younger generations, the educational system, the and life in general, and how we're going to we are going to have a world where they're going to have so many humanoids that it's going to be hard to differentiate what's
Yes.
human and what's a robot. And that in a way terrifies me. I was just in LA, and just to see the robot delivery people and the driverless cars, I'm not ready for this stuff. But I know it's coming.
Yes.
And so you're right. These are some big questions we need to think about. And I think, rather than I feel like in a way the world is dividing a bit. We have some that are in the matrix, and there are some that are like, I'm getting out of here. I want to escape the matrix. And like me, I'm, thinking of building a hen house, and and I'm a little bit off grid compared to the way I used to be. But I do think people are questioning their lifestyles at the moment.
Yeah.
And so all of these big questions are at the forefront.
Yeah. But you see, the to me, I mean, you mentioned before a mantra that is very dear to me. You said health is wealth. And in fact, that's why I call my platform Planet Gold, because actually the planet is the true gold. You know, there
Yeah.
is no luxury
Yes.
without, you know, good health. And the only way a human being can really feel good and happy is in contact with nature. There is no
Yes.
other way. I mean, you just have a walk barefoot on the beach, or you just walk, you know, in a bush or in a park, and your cellular happiness, you know,
Yes.
your electromagnetic frequency improves
Completely changes.
instantly and dramatically. So in reality, the true technology is nature, you see. So you mentioned about, you know, the circadian rhythm, um, and the biological circadian rhythm of the you know, current generations is totally disrupted by
Yes.
artificial light, you know,
Yes.
because obviously, you know, we are on screen, on TV, or just, you know, homes lightening until 11, 12, 1 p.m., whatever is our, you know, habit.
Mm.
But the true circadian rhythm is only activated by sunlight and by moonlight.
Yes.
You mentioned the fact that, you know, we need to expose ourselves to the sun
Mm.
in the morning, but, you know, going even a little bit deeper, in modern neuroscience teaches us that exposure to sunlight through retina in the morning is the only trigger for hormonal cascade
Yes.
that is, you know, natural to our physiology, which
Yes.
means dopamine and adrenaline in the morning. And then the only way we can stimulate the pineal gland to produce, you know, the hormones of sleepiness, the only way is by darkness. I mean, that's the only way our, you know, hormonal system works. So I think that when we speak about AI and technology, we have to differentiate
Yes.
artificial technology from natural technology, you
Yes.
know? And the only natural technology that exists is the planet,
Wow.
is sun, moon, air, water, food,
Yes.
light, temperature, and so on.
And
So I think that we have a solution. That's my point.
yeah. I was just thinking about all the chemicals that we have introduced into the environment in the past 100 years is just astronomical. And the damage we are doing to our children and future generations as well, because this, if you have to look at the environment and as if you're into longevity, you have to try and detoxify your body and your environment. And this stuff, they have now can prove that this passes on 3 generations. So this goes, whatever the damage I'm doing now, I can pass down to my grandchildren.
Yes, that's
It's
true.
imprinted in your cells. And
Yes,
they've now proven that the fetal stem cells of every child you give birth to can live in your body up to 27 years. And your mother's stem cells can live in your body up until you die. There's still new research on this. And all of this is fascinating. So when we're talking about leaving a legacy, we need to leave a legacy of health and wellness.
yes,
And it's incredible how complicated, but how amazing the environment is, and as well as the human body, and how much we can recover from as well. And I think people don't realize that you're actually impacting your children and your children's children with the decisions you make today and the
yes,
decisions you make when you have a child in your womb. And it's
absolutely.
the same with the planet. Often, if the negative consequences aren't always tomorrow. They aren't always next year, but look at us now compared to 50 years ago. So you really have to take, a big picture of all these things and think about how you want to, your legacy, how you want to leave the world, and how do you want to leave it? What kind of world are we leaving for our grandchildren? We have to address some of these issues now. We've already destroyed so much of the coral reefs and everything. And so many animals are going extinct. Species are going extinct. And it's just crazy. And all this weather as well, which we have unfortunately created for ourselves. But
Yes.
anyway, therefore your book is very important.
Yeah, no, but in speaking about detoxifying, ourselves and our environment in the Planetology book, I have a chapter called "The Plastic Beings," and this is unfortunately, as you mentioned, is scientifically proven that if I die now and you dissect my body, you find hundreds of grams of microplastics in my heart, in my brain, in my liver, in my skin, everywhere.
Yeah.
And that, as you rightly say, is transferred by DNA to, if I give birth, I mean, I
In the
reproduce.
sperm as well, yes.
Exactly, you see. So in the book, I suggest a challenge that I call the No Plastic Challenge, and I actually ask any human being on this planet to live one day without touching any plastics. I'm not even saying ingesting, because we ingest microplastics even from air and water everywhere. I say don't touch plastic for one day. And I think it's impossible. I think it's
Impossible.
really impossible.
It
And
is, because
that
it's in
maybe gives
every skincare, every food
everything.
product, every
It's crazy.
packaging, every clothes,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it is
So I have
crazy.
a question for you. And before asking you that, I tell you what I'm doing, on my side. Because with the work that I've been doing in diplomacy and the United Nations, I learned that governments play a key role in regulating, our life, daily life, like what we can do, what we cannot do, what is regulated, what is not regulated. And I think that governments can, and parliaments, by the way, can be much more aggressive in hampering certain behaviors by, industries and corporations, and can also foster healthier habits in the population. So now I'm focusing on two things: policy influence on one hand to governments, parliaments, and international organizations, and technology on the other hand, because fortunately we already have developed technologies that can remove plastics from the oceans, that can replace like seaweed materials or other textiles to plastics for wrapping or for whatever. So I'm focusing on policy and technology. So I would like to ask you, what is your daily work in contributing to this transition towards a cleaner world for us and for next generations?
Yeah, well, that's a big question. It's I am I think I'm more just trying to raise awareness and trying, treating sort of one client at a time. I help women with longevity, and I also help women with fertility issues. So the detoxification is very important, especially in the fertility area. And I think so. It's for me. It's. I have 5 children, so I've populated the earth enough, but trying to at least raise their awareness of lifestyle and And then one client at a time. And I'm trying to, I've done a lot of events this year where we're discussing a lot of these issues. And so I think, if we can find more sort of thought leaders in the area to have an impact. And so, I applaud you if you can go straight to Parliament and you've written your book and all that stuff. And, I touch on the subject, of course, in my new book, not, of course, as deeply as you do, but I think we have to all pitch in, so to speak, and join the kind of revolution in order to make great change. But it does start one person at a time.
Yeah. Well, I think that you are very humble in, describing what you do, because I've seen you on the cover page of Forbes. You have hundreds of thousands of followers. You are a public figure. I would call you a longevity celebrity, if I can, coin this term. But definitely, you are using your beauty, your influence, your experience to, as you say, raise awareness and spread, a positive message.
Yes.
So in this respect, I would like to ask you how you see the different communications platforms that we are, nowadays, as humans, for the first time ever, we have access to all these digital platforms through which we can reach out millions of people at very low cost.
Yeah.
So how do you see social media and in general communications platforms to help our agenda?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're extremely useful if because at the end of the day, we're all trying to educate and empower others to make the right decisions for themselves and for the world. And so, my plan is I would love to do some events, maybe here in Ibiza, some big sort of transformational events, and because I think there's nothing you can replace for the live events and as I said, the human connection and cultivating that community. I think people really crave that in this time of AI. But how do you get from A to B? Well, social media is incredibly useful tool for spreading your message and getting people involved and thinking, actually, I like her message, and let's see if it can make a difference in my life. And then that's how that's sort of the door into the community. And then one thing can lead to another. So, and there are so many options at the moment between YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. So our LinkedIn. So there's something for everyone. It's very useful. I think now more than ever, you can absorb a lot of information in a short period of time,
Yes.
which is fantastic. You don't just have to find the book and buy the book and read the whole book before you can just sort of get online. And I must say, I'm still trying to catch up with the Claudes and the chats and the.
Of course. That's so fast. I mean, we have to
Oh my God.
keep abreast every day. There is something new,
Yeah.
but it's very fascinating, very fascinating. And definitely, by you role modeling, a healthy lifestyle, in your, whatever, 50 or 60 or whatever,
I just
trends.
turned 60.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying, not you in especially, but and you see that the tendency, unfortunately, especially in Western countries, Eastern cultures are different, but in Western societies, there is this stereotype that you are 40 and then you become to be old and
It's
then
all
you
over.
cannot do something. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a stupid culture that has been instilled by the
Yes.
industrial
Old
society.
narratives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that it's all about the economy in the end. But
Yeah.
I think that you, by role modeling your life and lifestyle, and using, all your qualities and talents,
Mm.
definitely you are an inspiration for many, many people, many women. And so I would like to thank you for the work
Oh, thank you.
that you do.
That's very
Um,
kind. Well, we actually, your subconscious beliefs can affect your biology. So,
mm,
and a lot of people don't realize that. So you really have to sometimes question your thoughts and actually think, well, wait, maybe this is the beginning of the new chapter and not the beginning of the end, you
yes,
know? And
absolutely.
and change your mentality and visualize, the life of your dreams. And it doesn't have to be the beginning of decline. And yeah,
Absolutely
if you
not.
look, a lot of the most successful entrepreneurs or millionaires are 50 plus. So
Hmm.
it's never too late to start. And when I talk about the fundamentals of biohacking and longevity science, you can start now at any age, at any
Yes.
time, with any budget. You don't have to be, some tech billionaire with 2 million. You can you can
Yes.
start today. Go take a sauna or go walk in the sunshine or take a
Yeah.
walk after lunch, you know?
Yes. It's very accessible. It's low cost, and in
Yes.
fact, to me, planetology as a science of human evolution.
Mm.
And actually, I would love to have your review of the book as well, to have your honest views on it. But the book is rich of what I call longevity rituals, because there is also a spiritual aspect in it. I
Mind,
think that,
body, soul.
yes, I think that as humanity, we are expanding our consciousness, and that's why we are having this conversation.
Yes.
20 years ago, we didn't have that um, conscious evolution to, put our talent, our skills, our resources into this topic.
Hmm.
But now I feel that more and more people understand that we cannot become plastic beings, we cannot become cyber beings. And
Hmm.
as you said, we have to regain consciousness of our humanity or human nature.
And yeah, for me,
Um,
I talk about your aliveness, your
yeah,
life force. And for
yes,
me, it's the true meaning of vitality. It's what makes us human. And that energy and that vitality, that leads to leadership and to creativity and
yes,
to absolutely everything. And that's what we really need to treasure right now. As I said, it's this that's the new luxury, is this
yes.
consciousness, this alignment, and this authenticity. I think that we're all craving because the world is going more in the other direction.
Yeah, in the artificial side. That's why I like to distinguish artificial technologies from natural technologies.
Yes.
And if you think about it, some genius like 30 or 40 years ago invented this concept of the internet, of the web. And then everybody say, wow, what a genius. But spiders build webs
Yes.
since millions of years, you
Yes.
see?
Yes.
So nobody really looked at that and say, okay, this is possible,
Well,
because
we
you
are
see
the
what I mean?
result of nature technology.
Exactly,
And we're
exactly.
still learning. We will never stop learning
No,
about
yeah,
nature and about the human
exactly.
body. It's more, even just the point of conception, when the light hits, and that the egg is actually as old as the mother, but then after a week or so, the cells reverse to the original state with like a flash of light. And I mean, I think it's just, human nature is incredible. So we
It's
have to
absolutely.
respect
Yeah,
where we
just to
came
pay
from.
attention. I mean, just the
Yes,
fact, in the morning, instead of jumping on a phone or a computer,
yes,
what I do I don't touch any technology, I mean, artificial technology. After 2 hours, I wake up because first thing, I drink water, I go outside, I take sunlight in my eyes, I shake my body,
Yes, me too.
I meditate, I connect with nature, I observe nature. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to live, in a very natural environment. So I can see how the ants build something,
Yes.
or how the birds communicate themselves, or how a flower, moves towards the sun. I mean, there is an intelligence in nature that we can absorb just by paying attention. You see,
Yes.
it's very easy. So as you rightly say, we need to raise awareness to as many people as possible. And as I said, I feel that more and more people are more receptive to this narrative, because there is a consciousness evolution, and that's why we are all talking about this. There are scientists creating amazing technologies to extract water from the air,
Yeah.
to remove plastics from the oceans, or to generate clean energy. I think that as civilization, we are evolving in the right direction. But Laura, before ending this interesting conversation, I would like to ask you a last question that I ask to all my guests on the Planet Gold podcast, which is the following. So imagine you had a magic wand, and you could change the world and people's mindset to become healthier, happier, even richer and more beautiful. So what you would do, if you wouldn't have any restrictions in terms of money, technology, policy, whatever, no restrictions, no limits, you can do, anything, what you would do.
Oh, wow. Um, that is such a big question. Um, there are so many things I would do if I had to do one thing. I think I don't know if it would have to do with the educational system or would have to do with because I really think we need to raise awareness of obviously of everyone, but especially the younger generations. And so if you can start with the mother and the father, because even the way a father, his behavior 6 months prior to um, prior to the conception, that behavior affects the child, obviously. And same with the mother. And I think we have to just start now and raise awareness and get empower as many people we can with the tools to to detoxify their bodies and detoxify their environments, and maybe look at the educational system and find because so many children have issues, are neurodivergent and autistic and have these issues that we didn't have so much 100 years ago. And I think it would be so that's a very big question, but whether the school system incorporates more nature in the environment,
Yes.
in their lessons,
Yes.
I think that would be vital. Whether it's shorter lessons, more outdoor time, more nature appreciation, put that in the education system. Put climate control in the education system, and just we have to start everywhere we can.
Yes.
And so that's why, because I'm a mother of five, I immediately think, well, the younger you start, the better. So a lot
Yes.
of people are choosing homeschooling now. So
Mhm.
rather than that alternative, let's say, how can we change the curriculum to start now?
Yes,
So
absolutely. No, that's very smart. And, that goes to the roots of the solution, right? And appreciate your input on this magic wand series. I also appreciate very much our longevity mastermind at Cannes Film Festival. It
yes,
was a pleasure sharing the stage with you, Laura.
I hope we can
Thank
do
you for
more.
everything you do. Yeah. So where our audience can reach you to learn more about your work?
So, well, my website's lauracomfort.com. And so you can find me there. My podcast is Peak Vitality. My Instagram is Laura_comfort. You can find me. My new book is called The Comfort Code, Rewriting the Rules of Aging. And my supplements are called Laura Comfort Labs.
Amazing. So this is all highly recommended to the Planet Gold audience to look at what Laura does in the longevity space. And again, thank you very much for your time, for your contribution
My
to
pleasure.
our
Thank you.
conversation, and my best wishes for the future.
Thank you so much. I really
Stay
appreciate it.
well.
Great.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Bye, Laura.
Bye. Thank you. That was great fun.